Welcome back, y'all. This message that I have is for someone specific. It could be more than one person, it can be for a man or a woman. But God was showing me that the last person who you were in a relationship with, God kept telling you to take space from them, to basically break up with them and don't worry about the rest. And He wasn't giving you more concerning it, but He was kind of motioning to you that it's possible that things can be reconciled. God can heal things, He can fix things, so on and so forth. I feel like this person whom you have to separate from is experiencing ego death, and they're not taking mushrooms, and they're even finding that the things that they do use to lull them or to take away their reality, whether it's alcohol or whatever, all the things, I feel like it's not even working. And I'm not saying that you have a power over them, but I'm saying that God has set them up divinely and that there is lots of things going on behind the scenes that you couldn't even understand and you don't need to understand. Not knowing everything makes it a faith opportunity for you, because if you got everything and you just followed it that way, then it doesn't leave room, for you to trust God much. God wants you to know that no matter what's about to happen with you and this person, that is going to be divine. And I really can feel reconciliation as a strong point. But I know that there are people listening to this whom you find yourself in a similar situation, and this word may not be for you. God may not reconcile you guys. He may do things differently, you know. But I feel like for the people who you're definitely going to reconcile with this person, they're finding that even trying to replace you is futile. They're having dreams that God is giving them about you remaining pure. They know that you have options. They know of different things that you could do, and clearly you aren't doing those things. And it's been some time since you guys broke up. Not a whole lot of time, but time enough to prove things. And you've been proving that you can pass tests, you can change, you can meet challenges. I was thinking about how when we leave people because they're super toxic, there has to be understanding that we ourselves were toxic too. And so this person is seeing you become untoxic, and it's really beguiling to them. They they go from different extremes, because they're grieving the loss of the relationship. They didn't realize how much they depended on the survival of their relationship and how they got some sort of peace from it, even though there were lots of ups and downs and different issues. But God is showing this person, how it even makes sense to make the right choices. It makes sense to, no matter who they're going to be with, to not do the same things that they've done before. They're hearing your voice echo in their head, when you were telling them things would have been much better if they would have just told you the truth all along. Just different things about how it's slim pickings out there in this world. And you probably said a lot more. If you like me, you probably said a lot more. But they're hearing the things that God wants them to hear that is true. And not so that they can idolize you or anything. I still feel like this person is in a place where they do have bitterness. They do have a lot of pride. but God is undoing it, and it is quite a work. It's an easier work if the person is yielding to it. But if they're still rationalizing why they did certain things, why things happen certain ways, so on and so forth, that process is going to be gruesome for them if they're fighting against God's will. And they're starting to see that too. Like, I don't want to say that everything is failing in their lives, but they pretty much are experiencing a lot of trials and things that used to work for them, and people they used to be able to connect with and get things, it's not working. And so they're finding themselves, being pushed to the like a squirrel on a branch, and they're running from danger, but they're on the limb and getting, to the edge of the limb, and that limb is falling because as you go down, your body weight makes the branch fall. And so they're in this place where it's like, you know what? I was much more safer, on the ground near the trunk, or at least close to the body of the tree, where the branches start from. And things are kind of clicking for them. That's perfectly from God. Things are clicking, and this person needs for things to click in order for them to make massive changes. I feel like they do have a desire to be transformed, but at the same token, there's just a lot of generational things, a lot of just, the toxicness that was within them. It doesn't just leave because you left them, they have to do the work to deal with it. And so they're starting to see, like, wow, if I had not done that, then this wouldn't have happened. If I would have, like, they're literally considering, like, yeah, telling the truth it's important. And they're thinking about, like, if I just would have did that at certain times, I wouldn't have buried myself into that hole. And now they're not, I'm hearing this, they're not as desirable as they used to be. Not necessarily for reasons that we would think, but it could just be because God is hiding them. And, like, they thought they were going to be able to bounce back from the relationship and go to old flames, or surely they could find someone new, or whatever the case may be. But that hasn't been the case. Like, they've been inundated with things not falling on the side that they would like for it to be. And yeah, I don't want to keep going on and on. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got off of work overnight shift and I'm very tired, but I felt like God was saying, you gotta release this message. So yeah, this person, they are in a place of, they're knowing that they have to change, but they are still fighting that change. But the more that they experience you and see that you can change and how quickly you can change, it's inspiring them. They're feeling like, if she can do it, or if he can do it, I definitely can do it. And so, there are times where they feel like, you know what, maybe I can do what I need to do. Maybe that's what God wants for me, and I should follow that. But they need help. So my purpose is to let you know, pray for them. Don't pray that you and them get married tomorrow. Pray that they find the oasis in God. Pray that peace becomes the path that they travel down. Pray that where the enemy is attacking them, pray that God saves them from it, that God plucks them from their situations and put them in a position to see things better and more good. But yeah, that's all I have for now. I am literally sitting here falling asleep. I love y'all. I'll be back with another word.